You know, with the current announcements that Triple H, the game himself, will be in charge of creative, be the head honcho, if you will, of creative. Still have to answer to Vince McMahon for the time being, with the final say, but be the head guy in charge. Be somebody that a lot of people have been hoping for would take control of creative. Someone that has been in the ring, someone that has the experience, someone that knows what it takes to give the fans what they want. To know that he is the head guy in charge of creative. Now to his wife, Stephanie McMahon, Stephanie Levesque, if you will, has been promoted to another position. Yes, it's a position that could still and probably will make the PG-13 era, if you will, the WWE Universe era, still make it a problem in the eyes of a lot of wrestling fans. But that problem could be solved with Triple H. You see, Triple H being, despite how you feel about Triple H, despite how you feel about Paul Levesque, the guy knows what it takes to give the fans what they want creatively. He knows what brings people in. He knows what characters can be brought in. What people could use what certain gimmicks, if you will, to get them over. You want a good example of Triple H's creativity? Sami Callihan, who's now Solomon Crow in NXT, debuted at a live event that obviously NXT filmed. Sami Callihan debuted as Solomon Crow, and his character, his gimmick, if you will, is that of a hacker. And I'm not talking about no, I'm talking beep, 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 beep. Hey, what's going on with my tablet here? Hey, what's going on with all the systems here? That kind of hacker. And for those that have seen this already, for those that were at that event, that live event when it occurred, for those that have seen it through various video resources like YouTube, Dailymotion, and Blimp, this is a good example of what could fit. This is a good example of a character, of someone being given a gimmick, given a character that fits into who they were on the indie scene. This fits into somebody that once they get that opportunity to actually be called up to the main roster, actually have that opportunity to show up at that main roster, that their vignettes, their promos will get people talking. Once they see what he can do in NXT, and then start building him up for possible promotion to the main roster, you just wait. You just wait to what they see he can do. This is a gimmick that can work in the PG era, PG-13 guidelines. Because he is a hacker. A hacker. That, to me, that has never been done in WWE, as far as I know. And you got all these other character gimmicks and stuff that are being developed down in NXT. And for Triple H to be the one that was responsible for making that happen, responsible for saying, hey, this needs to happen in NXT. This is why we need to overhaul it. This is why we need to make it what it is now. So that the future will look brighter for the WWE. We need to do it now. This is why the timing couldn't be more perfect for him, for Triple H to take over creative and Raw and SmackDown and main event and Superstars. The time couldn't be more appropriate. And especially with the announcement of the location of Wrestlemania 31 in 2015 couldn't be more better. The announcing could not be better. I mean, the fact that I live here in Central California, close to the Bay Area, To know it's going to be in an area that I've been to, I've traveled by. When I've gone to visit family in San Jose, when I've gone to Great America in Santa Clara itself, to know it's going to be there, it gives me a goal. Gives me a reason as to why I should start saving a lot more. Because I want to go to Wrestlemania. And in 2015, Lord help me, I'm going to make it a reality. But you see, it's not just the only place where location for Wrestlemania has been announced. No. Like I said, the timing couldn't be better for Triple H to take over creative. Because just think how creative and how influential he could be in creative. Think about those he could associate and bring into the creative meetings, onto the creative staff. That, like him, have that wrestling knowledge, have that wrestling experience, know what the fans want, knows what's going to bring the fans into the arena, or in this case, into the stadiums. The timing couldn't be better, because I guarantee within the next year or so, leading into the 31st WrestleMania, not WrestleMania 30, although you could see the influence start as we head towards that direction. But as we head to WrestleMania 31 in Santa Clara, you'll start seeing a full-on influence. And then when we hit, and then the year later, 2016, WrestleMania 32, you're going to start seeing it more so. The influence will grow. The changes that are necessary could and probably, hopefully, will happen, and will have occurred. And some of these men and women down in NXT, by the time 30 comes around, and more importantly, when 31 and 32 come around, these men and women, some of them, will already be on the main roster and would have already made an impact because of the creativeness that WWE could start having in a positive way, thanks to people like Triple H being in charge of creative, and those that he will associate with himself, to help bring a more creative, more innovative, more fresher, hopefully, look and presentation to the fans, to the WWE Universe. And that is why I am happy to say that hopefully by WrestleMania 32, it'll definitely be in that more of a full swing than it will be at WrestleMania 30, or more importantly, WrestleMania 31. It'll be more like a full swing all the way around. Guaranteed, WrestleMania 30, you will see some of that influence. It'll still be growing. WrestleMania 31, it'll be in full swing, but by WrestleMania 32, it'll be in total swing. It'll be just influenced, felt all around the WWE and within the WWE and and outside of the WWE. That influence will be felt, not just with the superstars and the divas, but with the fans. And hopefully with Triple H being in charge of creative, it's a positive sign that will occur. Because I guarantee you, if it is a positive sign, and I believe it will be, then WrestleMania 32 is going to do what Vince McMahon has been wanting to do since 1987. Since after 1987. It is going to do what this event did by the time we get to WrestleMania 32, nearly at that time, 30 years. By the time we get to WrestleMania 32, it'll be nearly 30 years since this event happened. It'll be 29 years after this event happened. 29 years later, almost 30 years later. Because WrestleMania 32, you see it in the titles. It's been revealed. It's what everybody's been waiting for. WrestleMania 32 will take place at AT&T Stadium, formerly Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas. That's right, a place that when football is not being played, when football is not being played and is used for other things like boxing matches, basketball matches, or basketball games, can see more than you could ever imagine. The NBA All-Star Game broke the attendance record set by the WWE when they had their game with over 108,000 fans watching. Can you imagine what's going to happen in 2016, the first Sunday in April of 2016, when this occurs? Or around that time, the first Sunday, maybe last Sunday in March, first Sunday in April of 2016. Can you imagine what's going to happen? Can you imagine the attendance record that could be shattered on that day? It's unbelievable. I mean, we know without a shadow of a doubt, I know without a shadow of a doubt, hopefully I will be there and be part of it. But we know without a shadow of a doubt, Levi Stadium is going to have an attendance record set in WrestleMania 31. We know that. I know that. And that's always a great thing for WWE. They know damn well they're going to set an attendance record at the Superdome. They know it. But can you imagine them setting the attendance record worldwide? Guinness Book of World Records attendance record that's going to shatter this and shatter the NBA All-Star Game record, attendance record. Do you not think that's what they're hoping for? And they know it will probably happen? Because it will. And think about it this way. Like I said, the timing couldn't be better for Triple H to take over creative. Because with Triple H in charge, whether he's still wrestling at that time part-time or not, or he's fully retired, he's going to have people associated with him. It's going to take time, but he's going to get people that have knowledge about the wrestling business, knowledge of what fans want to see, knowledge of what gets over and what doesn't. And he's going to put that team together with him. And they're going to come up with creative stuff. And again, like I said, the timing couldn't be better, because once it goes into full swing, by the time we get to 31, and in total full swing, overall full swing, the effects could be felt within WWE and outside of WWE with the fans. And the thing is, the timing couldn't be better, and I guarantee you, that full effect, that total full effect is going to be felt by everybody within that company, superstar divas, officials, office people, and then outside of that company with the fans. It's going to translate to WrestleMania 32 breaking an indoor attendance record, because fans are going to want to see all these new creative things coming out, of showing up at WrestleMania, performing at WrestleMania, all these new creative characters, all these new gimmicks, if you will, showing up and doing what they do best. And imagine how everybody in NXT right now, everybody at that performance center is feeling right now, knowing and hearing about hearing that WrestleMania 31 is going to be in Levi Stadium. WrestleMania 32 is going to be at Cowboy Stadium, at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Imagine how they will feel. Imagine how they feel knowing that they have an opportunity lying in front of them to not only train and become a WWE superstar diva, or not only continue to improve and embrace the WWE way, if you will, the WWE Universe way, and get called up to that main roster. Imagine how they will feel should they be told one-on-one that they will be competing in a match of some kind, one-on-one, tag team, whatever, at WrestleMania 32, and what could be the largest indoor attendance record-setting event ever. Imagine the reaction. Imagine someone like Paige getting called up to the main roster, hopefully very soon, and being a mainstay in the women's division. Imagine what would happen if Paige was told, by the way, you're going to face AJ Lee for the Divas Championship in one of the featured matches of WrestleMania 32 in front of the largest crowd ever to attend an indoor event ever. Imagine her reaction should that happened. Imagine it. Imagine what her reaction could be. Imagine AJ Lee's possible reaction. I talked about Solomon Cowell right now. Sam Allen. Well, Sammy Collin right now. Simon Collin, if you will. Solomon Cowell, if you will. The new, imagine Sammy Collin right now, who just debuted in NXT under Simon Cowell. Oh, with his hacker gimmick. Imagine how he would feel when he gets called up and he's told in 2016, or even before that they're planning to put him into a featured match or a match of some kind at the largest attended wrestling event or largest attended sports entertainment event ever at Cowboy Stadium. Imagine how he would feel. Imagine that. Imagine someone like Sam Zayn, formerly El Generico. Imagine how he would feel. He gets called up to the main roster. And he's told he's going to be in a featured match of some kind at Wrestlemania 32 in front of the largest crowd to attend an event of any kind, possibly in the world. In front of possibly, think about this, 108,000 people attended the NBA All-Star Game. Imagine how many will attend WrestleMania, because not only will you have people in the stands, if you will, but you'll have people on the floor. And unlike the NBA All-Star Game, there will be more seats available, more seats put out on the ground. Imagine that. Imagine the attendance record of 125,000 people, and you're someone like an AJ Lee, or someone right now in NXT like a Paige, like a Simon Cowell, like a Sam Zayn, like a Bo Dallas. Imagine how you would feel in their being in their position, being told by someone WWE in charge of WWE creative and booking that you're going to be in a featured match in front of possibly 130,000, 125,000 people at Cowboy Stadium. Imagine your reaction. Imagine yourself right now, if you're thinking of going to the Performance Center and signing on to train to be a WWE superstar or diva. Imagine your reaction. You go there, you train, you go to NXT, and then you get called up to the main roster, and they're telling you WrestleMania 32, we're putting you in a match in front of 100, possibly 125,000 fans. Imagine your reaction. Imagine how you would feel. Imagine how Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards, right now, they have what is known as an internship with WWE. Basically meaning they're being evaluated, but imagine their reaction. Should they officially get signed on, go through the NXT deal, the Performance Center deal, go to the main roster as a tag team. Imagine their reaction. American Pit Bulls, American Wolves, whatever. Imagine their reaction if they're told they're going to be competing for the tag team titles at WrestleMania 32 in front of 125,000 fans. And they're going to go over. Imagine their reaction. Imagine that, folks. Imagine that atmosphere, being there live. Imagine yourself as a fan, being there live, front row, in the middle, in the suites, in the stands, doesn't matter. Imagine looking down that ring, or imagine looking up at that big freaking Tron. Imagine that big freaking HD screen. Imagine that. I can only imagine what it's going to look like live and in person for people that will be attending. I can only imagine what it's going to look like for me when I ordered the damn thing in 2016. Imagine that, folks. The possibility of over 125,000 people. Over 125,000. It still blows my mind. I mean, when I look at the sky shot, if you will, the roof shot that they have of WrestleMania 3, and I see how many people were here, I can only imagine how many people are going to be there. When they showed the attendance, the look of how many people were at SummerSlam in Wembley Stadium in '92, I can only imagine how it's going to look with 125,000 people. And like I said, the timing for someone like Triple H being in charge of creative couldn't be better. Because it's going to take time, but he's going to have people around him that have knowledge of the wrestling business like he does. That will know what gets over and what doesn't. Will know what's going to draw people in. It still blows my mind. I can barely speak. It's just so mind-boggling. I mean, to think we're going to get WrestleMania 31 in the Bay Area, and I'm happy about that because I'm hopefully going to be there. But imagine what it's going to be like for anybody planning to attend WrestleMania 32 at Cowboy Stadium, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It just blows my mind. It just does. I mean, you see how big it gets, how many people attend a football game sometimes. And especially if they're going to be attending the Cotton Bowl this year. Or next year. It blows my mind. I can't even imagine. I can't even fathom what that's going to be like. I mean, you're going to have the ring like right here in the middle, and you're going to look up and you're going to see that big HD screen. I can only imagine. And that's 2.5 years from now. I mean, we get WrestleMania 31 in 2015. That's going to set an outdoor attendance record for Levi Stadium, no matter what. Superdome's going to have an attendance record, no matter what. And within the span of 2 years, WWE is going to do what they did with WrestleMania 3. They're going to set a damn indoor attendance record all around that probably will never be broken. And again, Triple H being in charge of creative, and what we got going on at NXT right now, what he could do possibly as time goes on with Raw and SmackDown as we speak, the future only looks better and brighter, especially heading towards that possibility, which will be a possibility, of breaking that indoor attendance record. I mean, I can just imagine. I can only imagine how many people are going to attend that event. I can only imagine. And then you add in the Hall of Fame ceremony. You know damn well the Hall of Fame ceremony is going to center around a lot of that southwestern Dallas, Texas wrestling. Yeah, you got the Von Erichs in there. There's no already. You already got the Von Erichs. But you got other people you can put into the Hall of Fame that cut their teeth in the southwest and the Dallas area. Again, I can only imagine. Only imagine, folks, what it's going to be like. But that is why the timing couldn't be perfect for Triple H to be in creative now. He'll set the tone. He'll set that measuring stick. Because even if he's not part of creative, when that time comes, at least he will set that tone, that measuring stick for whoever takes over to know that this is how you do it. This is how you get things done. I can only imagine the influence and the impact it's going to have going into WrestleMania 32 2 years from now, 2.5 years from now. I can only imagine the influence it's going to have when I go to WrestleMania 31 in Santa Clara. I can only imagine just a little bit of influence it's going to have going into the 30th WrestleMania. But the main focus being that 32nd WrestleMania. I can only imagine, folks. But let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. Video responses, I guess you can't do, but I guess in some way, if you want to, I'll welcome. Let me know what you guys think, but this is huge, especially for any of you living in that Texas area. Because this is something you've been wanting. If you're a wrestling fan, you've been wanting it. Now you're going to get it. Peace out. God bless. Take care.